This interview is part of a series highlighting NIFC supporters and their stories. NIFC Spotlight with David Lepofksy.
I was born with partial vision. Then in my early teens, my vision started dropping to the point by the time I was 21, I was totally blind. In my earliest years, I learned the offensive harm caused by pity. When I was around 17 years old, I had decided early on that the way to get people over that pity thing was if you behave like an equal, people will perceive you as an equal and will treat you like an equal. And so I just felt like I didn't have to talk about it or advocate on it. I could just live my life. I was sitting on a subway going to York University one day in 1974, and I was chatting with somebody next to me about my plans to apply to go to law school. And I had a briefcase with me that had a university sticker on it, so it was clear I was a university sticker. I was a university student. And what happened was, in the middle of this conversation, a total stranger walked up to me, handed me a $2 bill. Yes, they had $2 bills back then, and told me to get a cup of coffee. I was uncharacteristically speechless. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there talking about going to law school, and some stranger, they see the white cane and they just think of me as some charity case who should get a handout. I was extremely angry, upset, hurt, but more significantly, I was transformed because I realized that being an equal ain't good enough. And it was at that point that I decided I need to do advocacy on disability, and I've been, as a volunteer, doing it ever since, either outside my academic studies or outside my regular career or now during my retirement.
David has been involved in the fight for disability rights in Israel for decades.
Israel is fast becoming a world leader in recognizing rights for the disabled, thanks largely to David Lepofksy, a Canadian lawyer who is blind.
There is an international trend. Government after government is recognizing that to achieve equality for people with disabilities, we must have a specific, strong, detailed law which will provide for us our goal of a barrier-free society.
I very early on got interested in the idea of shared society within Israel and the peace, pluralism, human rights, and equality rights agenda. I also, in 1993, was visiting Israel and had heard of the establishment of a new non-government organization that was a human rights legal center for people with disabilities called Bizchut. They fought from everything from demanding of the government that polling stations be accessible to voters with mobility disabilities. I once had the honor of meeting Chief Justice Aharon Barak, who presided at that case, and told me he asked the government at the hearing, who were resisting it, if you were told that if you don't make your polling stations accessible, you won't be able to have an election, will you find a way? And they seemed to find a way. So being able to get these cases all the way to the Supreme Court and to litigate them and get favorable outcomes is really important. But they also, more recently, to speed up to the present, that's the 90s, speed up to the present, during the recent war, of course, one of the things vital for everyone's safety is being able to know when the air raid sirens are going off. Well, what do you do if you're deaf? You got to be able to hear them. And whatever app there was, unfortunately, didn't necessarily let you know about the siren, as I was advised by Bizchut, until it could be a minute or longer later. Well, if you've only got a minute to get to your shelter. A minute's delay is extremely dangerous. So they are litigating over this, and apparently it's still going on.
David has been on the NIFC study tour 3 times. 2026 will be his 4th.
When we go, in each case, many of the attendees at the start begin with a sense of pessimism because of what's going on in Israel. In 2019, 2023 was in the middle of the early days of the attempt by the government to gut the judiciary, and 2017 as well, all of them. And yet we meet these frontline workers at the grantees, and you see what they are doing, and that they are making inroads, and that they are determined no matter how uphill things are. And you leave there, and you do actually have a real sense of optimism. You haven't been, you haven't changed your sense of what the problems are, but being empowered by seeing these incredible people doing this incredible work up against incredible odds. And you leave with a sense of, oh my God, when you see it in action, you want to be part of it in whatever way you can. I've been to Israel 24 times. I describe it as making Aliyah on the installment plan. Okay, but you would figure after your first 18 times, like, what are you going to get out of a trip that you didn't get before? And all right, I've gone and I've seen the Kotel, and I've been to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and all that stuff, and I've eaten more hummus than a human body can take in. What's going to be different? And I will say this. There is no experience that comes close in terms of the kind of things you get to see about the country, good and bad, that you just don't get on other tours. The meeting people that you wouldn't get an opportunity to meet, and to wrestle with the issues in a way that I dare say many who haven't been don't get a similar opportunity.
Lastly, we asked David if he is hopeful about the future.
2 years ago, I was on a trip to Israel, not an NIF tour, but 6 months after October 7th. And we were looking at the aftermath of October 7th, and the only thing it could be described as is depressing. And somebody over dinner said to me, "Do you have hope?" And I said, "Hope isn't something we have. Hope is something we have to create. If we wait for someone to give it to us, it ain't going to happen a lot of the time. Our job is to create it. So whether I have it now doesn't matter. What am I doing to create it is what matters." And I look at New Israel Fund as the big hope creator in terms of the many of the core issues within Israel. So I look at it now and say, do I know what's going to happen in 10 years from now? No. Do I know things are capable of changing dramatically? Absolutely.